think she's lost much too much blood. You'd better give the baby back to Abigail and spend some time with Emma. I don't know how much time she has left." He handed the baby to Abigail and swallowed. "We appreciate you coming." "I'll stay on until she passes. You may need some help." Harold raised himself to his full height and stuck out his chest. He took a deep breath. "No, you done enough, Miss Wolff. More than folks what ain't kin. You best be getting on home. Me and Abigail here can take care of what's left to be done." "But Harold—" He stopped me. "Ain't no point to you here no more. You ain't no doctor. You tell your daddy from me that I's mighty grateful for you coming to help with Emma in her time." I nodded reluctantly. Deep down I was thankful to go. "I'm going home, then." I looked back at Emma. And so is Emma. I stepped out onto what served as a front porch. The sweat rolled down my back, feeling like a horsefly crawling along my spine until it reached the belt that I had tied round my dress. The heat was unbearable. It seemed to rise out of the ground and dance along the cornfields in waves, like ghosts sent to torment the pure of heart. The June sun hung directly over the green fields. I only wanted to get back to my buggy and whip my horse to get me home as soon as possible. I stepped out onto the dirt where I'd tied my buggy the night before. Harold had been kind enough to feed and wash down my bay mare, and when the day was wearing on, he had hitched her back to the buggy. I untied her. She looked far more fresh and relaxed than I did, and I stroked her neck and patted down her withers. Untwisting my dress, the blue calico one that was now spattered with blood, I swung into the seat and slapped the reins on the mare's back. She stamped down the path and bolted toward the road. The breeze was soothing against my forehead. My hat bounced on my back, suspended by the ribbon that was supposed to hold it in place. I was ever so glad it wasn't in place. The rushing air felt good through my hair, which fell in chestnut waves to the top of my shoulders and whipped across my face. I was never cut out to be a nurse, and I knew it. I was a teacher. Taking people over the hump of learning was what I did, not easing them into eternity. Teaching was my gift, especially teaching women and slaves, people who the rest of the world said should never bother with learning. I had mixed feelings about going back to my house. I taught school near Greencastle, and the town provided me with a comfortable cottage. But school was out now, and I was at my home place. Only it no longer felt like my home. Much of what I thought of as home had died with my mother. 2 years ago, my father, Jonas, had remarried. It wasn't the idea of his marriage that bothered me, however. It was the fact that my new stepmother was 4 years younger than I was. I chalked it up to men's vanity and their desire to be young again and relive what was best confined to the past. There had been a brief period of time when my mother's memory hung over the house. I saw her everywhere and seemed to hear her soothing voice whispering in my ear. Now that was gone. The only place I could find comfort was with my Bible in the trees that surrounded my mother's grave. I had no hard feelings toward Christine. By all rights, we should have been good friends. It was just uncomfortable being in the same house with her and my father. I wasn't certain if it was a sense of jealousy I felt at having been replaced as someone my father depended on, or if the jealousy was something I was feeling for my mother. At times I wondered if, when I saw Christine, she reminded me of my own choice to remain single. I was attractive, but 26 was pretty much the end of the line. Perhaps I was trying to take my mother's place, and was being overly protective of the one man either of us had ever depended on. No matter what the reason, I knew that my unhappiness was why people thought